Welcome to the session. Today we are going to discuss a bit of history in our English session. Wondering why history in English? Yes, there is something very important that we can spend some quality time discussing about it. Let me introduce you to the topic of the day, Nelson Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom. So this is the second chapter in our English book, First Flight. So here we go with the discussion of our topic.
Nelson Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom is the second chapter, as I already said, from our English book, First Flight. First, let's see the outline of what the lesson is going to tell us about. This lesson focuses on the beautiful speech of Nelson Mandela on the oath-taking ceremony which was held on 10th May. And the lesson gives a lead to the expression of Nelson Mandela about the oppression of the country, the system of apartheid, and how did he get to join an African National Congress, and the beauty and experience of the first democratic election, and many more. Here, the important focus of Nelson Mandela is going to be about the richness of South Africa, which he means the people. South Africa is, of course, known for many wealth resources, but Mandela considers the people of his country as the most precious wealth that the country has ever got. And once we get into the longing for freedom, there are, of course, obligations to be fulfilled. And we'll come across what were the two obligations that Nelson Mandela had for his people, and what was his understanding about freedom, and how did the total freedom struggle got its fruit, the result. So moving on to what the lesson is about. This chapter is an extract from Mandela's autobiography called Long Walk to Freedom. It provides us a glimpse of the early life of Nelson Mandela, his education, 30 years in prison, and the pains he had suffered in his young age. It also recounts his fight for the freedom of his own people who were tortured by the whites for decades together. The lesson starts with the beautiful speech given by Nelson Mandela on the oath-taking ceremony, where he starts it by addressing the guests. He welcomed and thanked them for having come to take possession with the people of his country for a common victory of justice, peace, and human dignity. He also pledged to liberate people from the bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender, and other discriminations. He wished the sun of freedom to shine on his country forever. He also thanked all those of his country's patriots whose sacrifice has brought this victorious day. It was a reign of oppression and cruelty that created a deep wound in African people. But deep oppression produced the Oliver Tambos, the Walter Sislers, the Yusuf Dadus, and many more men of unparalleled courage, wisdom, and generosity. Nelson Mandela said that the oppressed were robbed when they suffered all that was against humanity, and the oppressor had to kill the good human being himself before doing anything cruel to the other person. In the first decade of the 20th century, a few years after the Anglo-Boer War before his birth, the white-skin patched up their differences and erected a system of racial domination against the dark-skinned people of South Africa. It was the birth of apartheid, the harshest in human creation, against which actually the people of South Africa suffered for years together. African National Congress is a political party which worked to give rights to voting and eliminate the system of apartheid. It was banned between 1960 to 1990 by the white South African government, but worked underground to achieve the goal, where Nelson Mandela joins the party to eliminate the sufferings of his people like poverty, discrimination based on color, and many more. Following a series of tense negotiations and years of liberation struggle, the first democratic election was held in South Africa on the 27th of April 1994. This election changed the history of South Africa. It paved the way towards a new democratic dispensation and a new constitution for the country. For the first time, all races in the country were going to the polls to vote for a government of their own choice. South Africa is of course rich in minerals and many other resources. But the most important wealth of the nation is its people. So, Nelson Mandela considered the freedom and safety that his country's people as his priority. Nelson Mandela considered responsibility as one of the basic rights of every citizen. So, he mentions that every man has twin obligations. The first one is to his family, parents, wife, and children. The second obligation is to his people, his community, and his country. Everyone fulfills his duty as per his inclination and interest. He was born free. He had the freedom to run in the fields, swim in the stream, and ride on a bull. Boyhood freedom was an illusion. As a student, he wanted freedom to stay out at night, to read books of his own choice, and as a young man, he yearned for basic honorable freedoms of achieving his potential of earning, of marrying, and having a family. But then he realized that those were not meant for them. There he understood that he must really work for his freedom as well as freedom of his people. Out of all this experience and longing, he understood courage is the essence behind all the hardships of Nelson Mandela and many other patriots who worked for the eradication of all the sufferings of South African people. On this historic occasion, Mandela remembers the patriots who paved the way for this success with pain and of course with gratitude. He expresses his gratitude and quotes that they would have been so delighted to see the result of their sacrifices. But unfortunately, it couldn't happen. And now, let me give you the meanings of a few vocabulary that you may find difficult while you try to read the lessons on your own. Before getting into vocabulary, I have a beautiful clip to show you all. Have a look and then get into vocabulary.
It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that little else does. It speaks to youth in a language they understand. Sport can create hope where once there was only despair.
That's all about for this day, children. Let me catch you up with the next lesson. Till then, keep reading the lesson, and of course, whenever there is doubt, you are always welcome to ask. Have a good day. Bye.